My name's Bob Coffey. I'm known in Toronto as the coach, but the question is kind of for Brett. I did work on the Major Oil Commission in Saskatchewan for a couple of years, and I noticed that everybody that I met there had this terrific entrepreneurial spirit, and I was just wondering if there was something, because people were in Saskatchewan, I mean, it was a province that wasn't growing at the time. Is it because everybody read Sarah Binks, or is there something that you could tell us about Saskatchewan? Because I just noticed even the politicians that I worked with had an entrepreneurial spirit, which is completely lacking in Ontario, and I'll be happy to tell all the politicians in Ontario, my rule is after all is said and done, all is said.
I'd like you to come up here and sit here. Saskatchewan, the winters are cold, damn cold, and they're long. And we often joke about that being the core reason why we work so hard in Saskatchewan, is you do want to get out at some point. And for the longest time, Saskatchewan's greatest export was its people.
Well,
today,
here was Saskatchewan.
It was founded in Saskatchewan.
After the Liberal government came in and they came to Ontario, or Ottawa,
Yeah.
that became home here.
Well, Calgary and the oil patch is really built off of Saskatchewan. I had a chance to speak at a charity event not long ago, and I talked about how good Saskatchewan has been to Alberta. But the flip side is Alberta has been very good to Saskatchewan. And there's some that would argue that that border should disappear because for economic reasons, we could merge and run a very efficient company, our province, and then we do a hostile takeover in BC because they're incompetent in organizing it. They'll do Winnipeg and Manitoba will come along. We like the water, lots of power, so we can really create something interesting. And you know, if part of this country wants to break away, I'm ready to say, screw you, go.
Do you think,
because we've got a pretty amazing country left behind.
Sarah Binks or something?
No.
I thought everybody in Saskatchewan read it.
I've heard of it.
perhaps it's, some would say, even up in Northern Ontario, someone brought it to my attention last week, you go up there in Muskoka during the summer, everybody's selling lawn chairs or anything aside business outside. Is it maybe more of an independent spirit, if you want the environment?
You know, I think it's Saskatchewan was founded by the first entrepreneurs. The hunters, the trappers, the farmers, the fur traders were the original entrepreneurs, and they're coming across this great country. That was 100, 150 years ago. My great-grandparents, my grandparents were part of that empire. My great-grandfather was one of the first people to invent the business of growing cattle in Saskatchewan and shipping them to Europe. Why? Because backhauls were free. Everything was coming in from Europe and the ships were going back empty. So we thought, well, I can basically ship these animals for next to nothing. All of a sudden he created a business that required trains and, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.